Hey everyone, how are you? It's Icy. I'm coming to you from California. Unfortunately, the weather today is not as nice as it's been, and yesterday was absolutely gorgeous. But that's okay because it's not what the weather is, it's what we do with our day. And today is going to be a fun day because it's the beginning. It's the start of a new year. At least a few days into it, but for me, it's the beginning of a new year. I had my mom visiting for a while, so I apologize. I've been a little MIA, but we had a great time with her. It was a lot of fun. New Year's was a real treat. My husband and I spent the night with my mom, just kind of celebrating, just enjoying bringing in the new year. She was visiting us from the East Coast, and it was her first time out here, so it was a lot of fun. We had a good time. And I hope all of you also had a great New Year's Eve, which is actually going to bring me to today's topic. What are the 3 steps to making your New Year's resolutions stick? So we all know it's that time of the year again, and if you're anything like most people, January 1st always brings big aspirations about what's possible for the coming year. Maybe you'll hit the gym or quit smoking. Maybe you'll spend less time on Facebook. Maybe you'll even say to yourself you're going to write the next great American novel or even get your business back into the black. Well, whatever fresh start you've got in your sights, I've got some sobering news. New Year's resolutions truly are a complete waste of time. You've probably observed the annual pattern of short-lived good intentions over the years, but truly here are the statistics. According to a study from the University of Scranton, only 8% of people actually achieved their New Year's resolutions. And then the other 92%, well, I don't mean to sound harsh, but if you could ask each of them personally, they'd probably tell you that they couldn't drop those stubborn 15 pounds because the gym was too crowded. Or they'd come up with clever rationalizations to explain how they were always too busy to read for 30 minutes before bed every night. But we've all found ourselves making resolutions every year just to see them fade away as time goes by. And I'm no different. I'm as guilty as anyone else. In fact, most of us are unable to keep up with our resolutions past the first few days of the year. And research has actually found that close to 70% of people who've made New Year's resolutions, well, they'll have abandoned them within the first 2 weeks. So what's the difference between those who actually achieve their goals and those who keep making excuses? What keeps pushing us off course whenever we think we're on the right track to reaching our goals? And what separates the doers from the dreamers? Humans are hardwired to resist changes to our behavior. It's simply part of our nature. So don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean that, all our resolutions are doomed from the start. It just means that, you have to tackle them from a different angle, one that's more in tune with your biochemistry. So lasting change can only be achieved through the power of habits. Those who fail have their minds completely set on these specific goals, but they're not aware of the small changes they need to take place in order to actually succeed. And what's even worse, this failure to achieve goals, it plagues every aspect of our lives, from our relationships with friends and family to our day jobs and even our online businesses. It may sound cliche, but humans are creatures of habit, literally. Your daily life is dominated by the reputation of your habitual habits. In fact, research shows that over 40% of all of our daily activities are simply activities that require little conscious thought. So if you're truly motivated to create different results in your life, it's imperative that you break poor habits and replace them with productive ones. All right, now how do you get rid of those age-old habits? Well, now dreamers, they'll fantasize about rewards, but doers, they have to first understand where they are to figure out where they want to go and how to get there. Let me give you a personal example. A couple of years ago, I cataloged my routine and found that I was falling short of my goals. So you might ask yourself same questions I asked myself. How much am I exercising? How well am I eating? How much am I really reading? And how often am I connecting with new prospects, doing Facebook Lives and following up with new leads? During this audit of my chronicalizing, I found that, you know what? I wasn't exercising regularly enough, and I was eating out far too much. I'd not read nearly enough books in the past 12 months, and I wasn't creating an acceptable output of value for my business. Does this sound familiar? Audit your own routine and identify the habits you'd like to replace. Once you've got a clear picture of where you're at and where you want to go, it's time to take a look at the science of habit formation. The first step towards replacing harmful habits is choosing a cue that will trigger an effective response. It could be anything, from a simple note on your refrigerator to something more complicated, like setting a radio alarm clock or your iPhone alarm clock, to a specific station that will get you on board a particular train of thought that will ultimately lead to you taking action. Let's say your goal is to get into the habit of jogging 30 minutes every morning. What would remind you to do jogging or to go jogging? Would it be, setting an alarm on your cell phone? Or would it be hanging a poster of a professional athlete on your wall? Or maybe it's just as simple as leaving your running shoes on the floor next to your bed so you literally stumble over them every morning. You can try different cues and experiment with any combination of them. The goal is to figure out what works for you. Now, step 2, think about what motivates you. Is it a piece of chocolate waiting for you when you get home from jogging, or a smoothie? Is it an episode of your favorite sitcom just waiting on your DVR for you to press play? Or maybe it's that collection of funny dog videos you've watched over and over, but still manages to crack you up every single time. Now, I know this step can be tricky because there's going to come a time when you're no longer properly motivated by such a reward, and that may lead you to go astray of this routine. But after a few days of executing your habit loop, you should ask yourself if you still crave the reward you've chosen, because if you don't, then it's time to choose a new reward in order to continue building a powerful habit. And I can't stress how important this step is. Our final step, step 3, you have your cue in place, your reward in place. Now it's time for action. Execute your routine as part of your habit loop and truly commit to your plan. You could even put your plan in writing in order to really hammer it into your brain. It could be something like, whenever I see my running shoes next to my bed, I'll go jogging, and then I'll come home and have that wonderful, delicious smoothie. You get the idea. You can adopt any new habit whenever you want. You just have to set your mind to do it. Now, in order to stay with the program and continue to build favorable habits, it's always a good idea to set actionable, quantifiable goals. Dreamers imagine themselves reaching their goals with one giant leap, while doers realize the road to success is comprised of smaller, gradual steps. Now, another important consideration to be mindful of is you have to remember staying motivated. It can be tricky, but staying motivated is extremely important, particularly when it comes to building new habits. So my recommendation for the most effective motivational tool is to keep a daily journal, and here's why. Doing meaningful work is one of the biggest drivers of motivation. It's been proven to be more important than any monetary reward. Seriously. And the trick to creating meaning in even the most mundane is progress. You deal with setbacks and negativity as part of your daily life. However, by keeping a daily chronicle of progress towards your goals, you'll be able to reflect on the positives, however small, which will elicit feelings of accomplishment and fulfillment. Now, here's an idea. why not think of these feelings as the reward within a new habit loop in order to become a more productive person? So to stay motivated, record your progress consistently. The most effective mode of journaling is to collect and capture what you've achieved over the course of your day. Those are your trophies. So hang them up to admire them. Now, let's recap some of the key points I've covered in this video. Number 1, humans are creatures of habit and therefore hardwired to resist change. Number 2, to defeat our human nature and achieve our goals, we need to replace harmful habits with good ones. Number 3, new habits are formed through the habit loop, which is the cue, the reward, and the routine. Number 4, the changes you wish to make to your behavior should be specific, measurable, and time-based. And finally, number 5, track your progress through a journal, which will help you stay motivated. We all have dreams and aspirations, and making them a reality, it's just a matter of plotting a specific course and using every available resource to stay on it. Turn yourself into a doer, or your dreams, they're going to end up in the sewer. Doers and dreamers, though, they're not that different from each other. Actually, they're both driven by a genuine desire to make a change. But keep in mind, the world is your oyster, but you must decide if you're a dreamer, which is, perfectly content, someone who's perfectly content with fantasizing about the treasures hidden all over the globe, but never actually setting sail to find them. Or are you a doer? Someone who is looking to get more out of life and willing to do whatever it takes, even if it means venturing into unknown territories and facing seemingly unbeatable odds. Now here's the thing. A dreamer ship, it's going to end up dead in the water, while a doer will harness the power of the wind to sail smoothly towards success. The clock is ticking. In a few more days, this week will be over. Then before you know it, this month will be done with. And the next thing you know, this year, it's going to zip by even faster than last year. Then, come December 31st, you'll either be celebrating some big accomplishments or looking back at another year of mediocre results without a whole lot to brag about, still hoping next year will be better. Now, unfortunately, most people will be in the latter camp because, as the old adage goes, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you'll keep getting the same results. So the big question is, what are you going to do differently this year, starting right now, that will make this year bigger, better, and much more profitable than ever before? Your answer will dictate what you do and how today, this week, this month, and the rest of the year will turn out for you. Let me make a suggestion. If one of your major goals for this year is to generate more leads and recruit new reps, into your business, then you're going to need a proven action plan to execute day in and day out. And I've got just the thing for you. Sign up for my free 10-day online recruiting bootcamp, and you'll discover a step-by-step business building blueprint, which has a decade-plus track record of creating success stories. You'll learn about the specific tools and techniques you can use to connect and convert prospects online, so you'll never have to act desperate, chase down, or strong-arm anybody to make a sale or deal with cold calling and rejection ever again. These methods allow you to build your business automatically, where prospects will reach out to you instead of you having to reach out to them. The bottom line is, in today's age, you don't need to be pushy, obnoxious, or overly aggressive to build a successful business. So if you're ready to get started, click on the link above this video to access my free 10-day online recruiting bootcamp. I hope this video was of some value to you. I also hope you have an amazing rest of the day. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow.